Big update. I officially have a new roommate. 3 new roommates. Here's roommate number 1. Say hi, Ollie. Here's roommate number 2. Ben. Roommate number 3. This super hot, sexy man. And this super hot, sexy man. Welcome. Come here. Yeah. Alright, yeah, just sit with me, okay? Hey everyone, Heather here, blogger, creator, and entrepreneur, and I'm documenting my journey in building Sharespark Media. So it's official, I moved in with Tom. I still have my place in Long Beach, and there's a bunch of reasons for that, which I'll probably talk about in another vlog. But in this vlog, I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned so far living with Tom and just being in a relationship, because I've never actually officially moved into a home and built a home and a life with somebody. Having gone from complete independence, like in a way that I never had experienced before. You know, I spent Christmas alone last year. Like there was a lot of these feelings and emotions and conflicts and life phases and all of these things that I went through alone. I had to understand who I was as an individual and like, you know, what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, what my own personal goals were before I could wholeheartedly give myself to this relationship and to Tom. And I could not have done that without having my entire experience of the past year and a half. I want to share how I have been able to make that leap, and definitely Tom has been such a great person to do that process with, because he's so understanding of that. First is communication. Having gone from basically having a 24/7 dialogue with either myself or an inanimate object, it was definitely something that I had to consciously, and I'm still consciously working on. One of the things was this idea of like a casual comment, but it's like the accumulation of a casual comment said on Monday, a casual comment said on Wednesday, a casual comment said on 1 week, and then myself drawing now this pattern. If you were just dating or if you weren't living together and someone said a casual comment that kind of got under your skin, for example, it's easy to brush off if you just go home and that other person goes home and you don't have to see them for a couple days because you just kind of forget. Now it's like you could kind of brush it off, but then if it's said again on another day or another situation, like my brain starts to draw these conclusions, and sometimes I don't even realize that it's happening. But that's what's so great about Tom and I, is that we're so open and transparent and so willing to communicate everything to each other, so that we can understand where those comments are coming from, or like why a certain pattern is drawn. It's not like it's this huge argument or huge deal when it happens, but this entire process is definitely something that, you know, I have had to get used to. Going off of that, second thing is unconscious feelings. I'll specifically use my anxiety and ADHD. I've had ADHD all my life, and definitely I've had anxiety, but especially on my entrepreneurial journey, it's just like anxiety every day. And I had my ways of dealing with my anxiety, that like this is just what I do, and a big part of that is being alone. Sometimes it's me jumping on my boosted board and skating, you know, in Long Beach, or it's vlogging. Sometimes it's just sleeping and, you know, waiting for the next day to come. Like I just had my ways of dealing with my anxiety. Now that Tom is here and he's my partner and my boyfriend and he wants to help, you know, he can't help unless I let him. I have to make the effort to open up, you know, and that's not something I'm used to doing. On the other hand, if I don't open up, then there's a situation where he can feel like he can't help me, and I don't want that, because I want him to be able to help and he wants to be able to help, but like I have to create that situation where that is even a possibility. Third thing is keeping a house. Housekeeping. I've never had a house. I really had no ambition to own a house ever. Starting a family, owning a house, that whole way of life is something I gave up when I started this entrepreneurial journey. But Tom has a house. Tom owns this house. He actually built this house from scratch. He like chose the carpet, chose the paint, chose the cabinetry, the tile floors, like the wood floors, furnished the whole thing, It's very much his like home that he built. Now, when I was initially staying here as a guest, and even when we started dating and we became boyfriend and girlfriend, I still kind of saw cleaning and like organizing things as like a favor to him, as a way to kind of alleviate some of the stresses, make things easier for him, and make him happy. Like, that's the reason why I did it. I love cleaning anyway. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that. But that was a huge motivator for me. The thing is, this is also now my house. And yes, he's really happy when I clean, and it does make things easier for him. But just like when I clean my apartment and I don't get a pat on the back from anybody, and I'm not really making anybody happy except for myself, that's how I have to start looking at this house. Is like, if I don't clean, then no one else will. I mean, Tom will clean obviously too, but by cleaning, it doesn't just make Tom's life easier, it makes my life easier. It's a maintenance thing that I now have to contribute to. Going off of that, number 4, sharing. One of the sweetest things Tom has said to me was, I love sharing my life with you. And I love that. It's like, I've never thought of it that way, where it's like, you know, this is my life, and just the privilege and honor and joy to be able to share my life with somebody. Like, I have never had that experience before. So when Tom said that to me, it was a huge deal. But a thing that has kind of made me anxious is like this shift of me going into his life and his house and his home and his city. One of the things was I was afraid to move things because this is Tom's house, and like, who am I to start moving things because it's not my house. For example, the closet. He has one big huge master closet in the master bedroom, and when we first had the conversation of like, okay, I think I'm gonna move in here, it started out with like, okay, here's where the extra space is in the closet, you could start there, and then like eventually just more and more of my stuff would appear. But you know, I wanted it to be like, okay, let's look at the closet together and see how we could like divvy up where you have your space and I have mine, and we do it together. All right, so here is the master closet. This used to be completely claimed by Tom, obviously, before I moved in. And most of it still is, because I don't have a lot of stuff here. I still have a lot of stuff in my apartment in Long Beach. Here is my side. And I brought that from Long Beach this past weekend. These are all my shoes, clothes, pants, some other stuff here. And I got one of these shelves right here. Definitely have a lot more stuff in Long Beach, but these are my essentials. And we've split the closet together. You see that? I have manual focus on, so I would probably need to adjust the focus, but he got his other house key and wrapped it up in a bow and gave it to me and made a very big deal about it, and you know, just was like, you make my house a home, I want this to be your home too, and stuff like that. So that was really sweet and special, and I really appreciate how he went out of his way to make me feel comforted in that way. And the last thing is building a house, building a life, building this relationship together. For example, this set studio, we had to paint the wall together. I bought this couch, we put in the shelves. It's like a combination of both his stuff and my stuff. This room is now my office, and it wasn't like I felt like I was intruding. It's funny how that is such a big deal, but like, especially when it comes to vlogging, for me to have that same comfort and personable tone that I had when I was sitting on my bed in my apartment in Long Beach, like I couldn't do that on someone else's bed or in someone else's room. It's like I needed to have a space that I could feel like I built. And so I'm glad that Tom and I built this together. Not a day goes by where I don't feel blessed to have what I have with Tom, but I do want to convey to anyone that is watching that there are things that I am learning about myself and the world and entrepreneurship and vlogging and digital media and just so many things. Like, everything that I initially set off to learn and discover, I'm definitely still learning on an exponential level because of Tom. So I want to make sure that I continue sharing that stuff. And I do want to take the time to say thank you so much to my subscribers, my followers, my fans who have continued to watch the content that I've uploaded. I really appreciate the thoughtful comments and how so many of you guys are happy for what's going on in my life. And an extra special thanks to you guys who have gone over to his channel to check out his content. If you haven't checked out Tom's vlog, click here, go check it out. All right, with that said, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. You guys are on my set. You're on my set.